question is, what is the Zika virus?
I know that it's some type of disease. I know that Zika is a virus that comes from mosquitoes.
It's a disease.
Zika is a virus.
Zika is a virus.
I know it's transmitted by mosquitoes and that it can cause birth defects.
It's carried by mosquitoes. I know that.
It's carried by mosquitoes.
Yeah, passed on by mosquitoes.
But I'm not exactly sure what it is.
I honestly have no idea what Zika actually is.
My name is James J. Collins. I have a PhD in epidemiology. I'm an executive in residence in health sciences here in Health and Human Services. And I teach epidemiology, infectious disease epidemiology, and introduction to public health. The Zika virus, it's a flavivirus, which means that comes from yellow fever. So it's very closely related to viruses, yellow fever, West Nile virus, dengue fever. And if you look at those under an electron microscope, they look almost exactly the same. And they all use the Aedes mosquito as a vector.
Like South America or Mexico, somewhere down there.
It originated South America, maybe, I'm thinking.
The first evidence was, I think, 1947 in Kenya, and they found it in a monkey.
The same places where malaria is transmitted, like parts of Africa.
It is mainly predominant down in, I want to say Central and South America.
Americas, I think that's the only place you hear about it.
After Africa, I went over to some Pacific islands. Yap had a big outbreak. Then from there, it seemed to go dormant for a while, and then it showed up in Brazil, and now it's spread, up through the Americas, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and now it's in the United States and Florida. It could move even further than that, depending upon it. It uses the Aedes mosquito as a vector, and that mosquito is distributed pretty widely throughout the Southwest.
I think it could possibly be probably fever, loss of appetite, just a lot of sickness, upset stomach.
I don't know, probably like a rash or something.
Maybe stomach aches, cramps, flu.
It's much like the flu, although you may develop a rash. There's some conjunctivitis, fever, just like flu. And symptoms are really pretty mild. In fact, only about 1 in 4 people show any symptoms at all.
As it progresses, I think it might maybe again affect the immune system, maybe shut down vital organs.
Well, the big one now is obviously damage to the fetus. So especially the neurological development of the fetus. So the fetus, first 6 months when the fetus is in the mother's womb, that's the time when Zika seems to be the most damaging, and that's when the brain develops and the neurological system. So that seems to be the biggest symptoms. Adults can also get some nerve damage. Guillain-Barré syndrome is one of those where you get kind of a loss of feeling in your arms and legs and hands, and sometimes you can actually die from it. Well, in most cases, it passes within 3 months. So it really goes after the neurological system, we think.
Maybe through like coughing or kissing or blood or something.
Through mosquito bites.
Yeah, that's, it's spread by sexual contact, mostly male to female. So if the male has it, he can give it to the female. And then it goes, I mentioned the mosquito. These Aedes mosquitoes are indiscriminate feeders. They love to feed on humans, but they'll feed on just about anything, and they'll feed on birds, and they'll give the virus to birds, to mammals, and to humans. Also, once the mosquito is infected, it remains infected for its entire lifespan. So it can infect many, many people and many other critters.
Put on bug spray.
I don't know if there's a vaccine, but if there is, maybe get a shot.
It's just like yellow fever. The prevention is, sleep under a mosquito net. It actually likes to live near humans, so it'll live, just outside your home or even in your house if you have some standing water in places. So mosquito net at night, wear long sleeves, use insect spray, and also get rid of the mosquito resting places. Also for sex, you might want to have the male use a condom. Viruses can actually probably go through a condom, but it seems like that has been pretty effective in preventing HIV infections.
250.
5,000.
Nobody knows really. In the United States, we have maybe 500 cases of people that are infected with Zika virus. Most of those are people that traveled outside of the U.S. and came back, but they can infect other people. In addition, if they have the Zika virus and they get bit by a Aedes mosquito, that mosquito gets infected and it can infect another person. So unfortunately, since the symptoms are so mild, we don't really know where outbreaks are occurring. Around the world, it could be very large. I mean, it could be literally millions of people.
Yeah, I mean, if it is such a major outbreak and it can turn into an epidemic, and especially if it's in areas where people travel a lot internationally, and then those people might travel to different areas that might affect a larger population.
I mean, if it's really a really big problem that they can't take care of quickly, then yeah, I think they should be covering it more.
I think the media hasn't done a very good job in this. They have gotten some of the stories wrong, like the epidemiology information is not all that strong. It may be that Zika doesn't cause microcephaly, that small head syndrome. The epidemiology is just based upon a couple of studies. So what really needs to be done now, I think, is more study and for everybody to just take a deep breath and let the science sort of evolve, because we just don't have a lot of information on it. But I think the press can do a good job in alerting people to how to avoid being infected. But Zika may not be as terrible as has been made out today because we just don't have a lot of information on it.